Good morning, everyone, and just a little sharing on the idea behind these sessions. So, in our personal journeys, we have been feeling that it's very nice to have a continuing kind of a practice, meditation practice, and it's good if happening in the first part of the day, morning itself, where it gives an intention for the whole day, like you set your base for the whole day ahead. And that's where we said that let's do it together, maybe invite more people to do it together. So it's nothing really for the people, it's just that we are doing it. So we said that let's share it around also. And the basic structure that we are wanting to follow is that we do a short meditation, and also we'll discuss why to meditate at all, and on what to focus when we are meditating, because we can just keep on sitting for a long time, and that would not really uh, achieve anything at all. We'll be the same when we come out of this those 30-40 minutes or even lesser. So there is a purpose, there is a structure to it. There is something to be done while we are meditating. It's not that we have just to sit and watch and get lost in the thoughts. That's not the purpose of sitting meditating. um, so the idea will be shared, why to meditate, what to focus on, and many a times we'll also be showing many maybe videos, clips here and there, short clips here and there, and then we'll be inviting reflections on those clips also, again in the direction of where we are within, from where we are living life from within, which part of the being where are we living life from. So just to set that clearly in the morning itself, and also to see how the mind is, because usually we are not aware of what is happening in our being, what's happening to the feelings, emotions, we are not aware. So the idea is to become aware of what's happening in this kingdom that we call as ourselves. So that's the basic idea. And today we don't have any clip to show. Today we'll be just listening to a 10-minute instruction by Jitsunma Tenzing Palmo, and along with her we will be sitting shortly, and then we will put off the video and or the audio, and then we'll continue to maybe meditate if we like to. We'll see how much time is there, and with that we will stay for a longer time. So with her it's a shorter duration with 5 minutes of guided meditation, and then we can extend it as per our delight or whatever we want to do, even after the session is over. Yeah. So anything anyone wants to add on? Taru, you want to add on anything?
Not exactly, but like just for the people coming in late, I don't know if from next time we can have some instruction on, right? That please keep your, I don't know, videos off or something so that the others don't get interrupted. But otherwise, everything is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do
So
that.
we can
Maybe
start.
prepare
We'll think
something
about, yeah,
to put in front.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Perfect. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so why are we meditating at all? Let's shortly talk about it. What's the need of meditation? So if Badalji, would you like to share what's the need for meditation at all? If you have any reflection on that.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the mind is always running like a mad elephant with at a tremendous speed. It is more than the speed of light. In the speed it is running everywhere. Within fraction of seconds, it can reach anywhere and everywhere. So, and we feel tired. Actually, there's a turbulence in the mind every time. If we try to keep that mind at rest, it's a great instrument. Actually, we can if we can change the course of that force, mind force, to a particular direction, a desired direction. So probably we'll be able to achieve that within a very short time. And once the mind is come, then we can see that what all there, who am I, or what is there inside me, and so all those thoughts which were never been coming to my mind. So probably I'll be able to see that and follow that path, or probably develop my aims and objectives, whatever I wanted to attain in life. This is in short, I understand about
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, anyone you want to add on, Taru? I mean, why should we get up in the morning and do this at all? Yeah.
It's very amazing that how we do so much, not even thinking about why we are doing it, kind of a thing. So I think it's, for most people, it's just like, it's a trend, or, it sounds nice and stuff. But I think it's very good to actually reflect on the question that why should we meditate? So I think again, like on the same lines as Captain, it's like we do so much for the body, right? The full day we are like, eating, and the whole night we are resting, and so much is done for the body. So there are so many components of me, right? There's the body, there's the mind, there's this, I don't know, spirituality, the emotions. So I think especially to, like he said, to, I don't know, see the mind, see that the mind has so many thoughts, see that the mind is a mad elephant. Like mostly I don't even know it becomes me. And I feel that, yes, this is how it is. I have one thought after the other, or maybe I won't even know I have one thought after the other. And it just goes on and on and on. So when you are actually able to sit in that silence, maybe it's just for fractions of seconds or more, depending on, how you're able to do it, especially in the beginning. It shows the possibility that the calmness and the silence is possible, and you're more aware, right? Like about what's happening and about your own self. It's so weird that I say I am this body, I say I am this, and yet I don't know much about it. Like almost everything here is what I've heard. Like people say, okay, oh, you are so hardworking. So I just say, oh, I'm hardworking, and kind. So I don't know myself from my own side. So I think that, I mean, among many, many other things, it's just to get, like, first of all, like you said, it kind of gives you something to hold on throughout the day. If, like, say, if you're, I don't know, getting swept off into anything, and if I've meditated in the morning, or, it's not just morning, it's like a throughout the day thing, that you're kind of stepping back or trying to be a bit more still. That helps is not in not losing myself at each and every trigger. So I think I'll stop because it's a very long answer. Yeah, thank you for
No,
bringing it up.
I think very much required. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I also want to share here that we have been reading words of masters, mystics for a long time through Living Light and in our own accord also. And just by reading, it appears to us that mera ho gaya, I am done, that, it may appear that so beautiful things, words of masters and mystics, they are all telling. And somehow we begin to internalize all that, which is beautiful. But we also begin to internalize that uh, all this has already happened in me. And it's beautiful when we turn the microscopic attention within ourselves, look at the thoughts, feelings, and what's happening in the body, for example. We see that the status of our palace, if we can call it a palace, in what a shape, as both of you just shared, in what a shape it is, even after reading so much. So I think this is very important. Personally, I feel that this is very, very important, that reading and listening to the words and masters is beautiful and is necessary on the way. But the importance of personal practice cannot be put out, it cannot be dismissed. So to have the jaisa of the house, as the both of you just shared, and to look within, what is the actual quality, the practical quality of my palace? Now that the king turns within, the attention turns within. Usually it's always outside of me, what the other person said and what is happening outside. Today I did this, today I have to do that. So the attention is always outside. Now the attention turns within and sees, okay, the triggers may be many, but what's happening within? And even without a trigger, what's the quality of my state? So I think that's really remarkable, that even when we sit in silence for 5-10 minutes, we see without any triggers, as if there is a background stream of chatter going on. So to become aware of that chatter, so that we don't lose ourselves in that chatter during the day also. Not all the times, I'm sure many a times we will lose ourselves. So to become aware of the chatter, and I think to a little kind of step back from the chatter and look at the chatter, just while we look at maybe naughty monkeys or maybe children playing around. So to look at them, because if someone looks at them, then it has the tendency to calm down and to behave accordingly. So let's do this, if I may start this. So this is a 10-minute guided instruction first, and then 5 minutes of a meditation. Let's start it very slow, and we're not starting with a long meditation because we know our capabilities. Let's start with 5 minutes, and then we can maybe talk about it or reflect if there is more time later. So I'll put on the audio. Let me see. And you tell me if the audio is coming or not. Just a second. Share.
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming.
The basic idea, what we are trying to do, is to develop the ability to be conscious, to be aware. Because so often when we are thinking or feeling or speaking or whatever activities we are undertaking, we are not present. We are just caught up in all our thoughts, and we're not even aware we're thinking. So the practice is simply twofold: to gradually allow the background noise of our thoughts to begin to calm down a bit, and at the same time to develop the ability to be aware, to be mindful. Mindful means just to know what's going on when it's going on without commenting on it. So the easiest way is to start with the breath, because we are all breathing. And normally when we're breathing, we are not conscious that we're breathing. So now we are simply going to bring the awareness to the breath, especially the out breath, and then allow it to come back in and then out again, without straining it, without keeping the mind very relaxed, very spacious. And all the thoughts going on in the background, it's like if one were in a room where, say, the television is on, but we are reading a book or working on the computer. So although we are not turning the television off, it's there in the background, but our attention is not on the television. Our attention is on whatever is our task in front of us. So our attention here is on the breath, and the thoughts are going on in the background. We're not trying to stop the thoughts. We're just not giving them any attention. And if we get caught up in the thoughts again, as soon as we recognize that, no problem, we just bring the attention back to the breath. So it's very, very simple. And it's very important not to become tense or tight. Just leave the mind feeling very, very open, spacious, relaxed, but aware. And this is the essence of the practice. Later you go on, giving attention to the thoughts, giving attention to inner phenomena, etc. But the crux of it is the ability to be attentive to what we want to be attentive to. And here that is just very simply the breath. We also can use, I'm not guiding the meditation. This is why I'm telling us now what to do. So even during the day, if we are walking, we can just be aware that we are walking. When we're sitting, we can be aware we're sitting. If we're agitated, we can again bring the focus back to the breath. The breath and the mind are very interconnected. And when the breath is smooth, then the mind also begins to calm down. If we're excited, the breath becomes agitated. If we're fearful, the breath changes. The mind and the breath are very interconnected. They say like the rider and the horse. So as our attention gets more settled, the breath also will begin to get more settled. It's such a simple practice, but the Buddha used it in order to become enlightened. It's a very simple practice, but at the same time, it is a very profound practice. And we shouldn't think it's not important, because if the Buddha used it in order himself as his main meditation practice, I think that shows how deep and significant it really is. And it's so simple for everybody because we're all breathing. So maybe we just sit for 5 minutes and just make the back straight, but not tight. It doesn't matter if one's sitting on the floor, if one's feet, keep the feet so that they're on the floor or on the cushion. Eyes open, eyes closed, doesn't matter. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And then just breathe. And know we're breathing. Let's do it.
So during this 5-minute time, we'll just focus on the breath. And in case we get lost in the thoughts, we come back to the breath again. Just keeping our awareness again and again back to the breath. In case we get lost, coming back with awareness to the breath.
So, how to become the master rather than the slave of our minds, isn't it? And how to open up the heart to unconditional love for all beings. How wonderful. We have the potential within us, isn't it?
So the idea behind these meditations, which are called I am awareness meditations, would be to disentangle ourselves from the regular stream of thoughts and feelings. And it's really, really remarkable the kind of peace it can give us. And also it has also the power of diffusing certain situations. Because, day before yesterday only, or maybe yesterday, I had this episode where something happened and I wasn't really feeling very easy about myself. Something was wrong. And again, following the instructions of what Tenzin Palmo here just shared, I did nothing but decided just to stay with whatever was happening. So as she shared, just to become aware, not judging it, not judging whether whatever is happening is good or bad. Oh, I got lost in the thoughts again, whether that's good or bad. So not judging it, noticing that, okay, got lost in the thoughts, and that coming back to the awareness of the breath. So I kept doing that for as long as it was required. And it was amazing how beautifully the situation was diffused and I was back to my easy self. I don't even remember how many hours or minutes it took, but it really, really helped me personally to kind of, to like some ripple or the movement of emotion or feeling or thought may happen. And you kind of, when you become just aware of it, I'm standing as awareness. uh, Things are happening and I'm taking the stance as awareness. I'm not taking the stance as the role I play in the drama or the story. I think it really has the power to give you back all the energy that you lost, maybe again and again, losing yourself in the drama. And then, as Badalji was sharing in the beginning, then it gives me the energy to focus attention on what is good for me to do, what is right for me to do, uchit karm in Hindi. Usually we rarely have left any energy for the right action. We are so drained when the right action, at the time of the right action, but when all the unnecessary actions are happening, I have so much of energy. So this really helps, and again, throughout the day we can take this forward again and again. Whenever we have the capacity to become aware, we become aware of the status within. I check within and check, okay, let me stay with the breath for a few moments, and then release the pause and go by the day-to-day activities. And again, every 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, we can keep coming back to the breath. So it brings the mind to the body. Giving attention to the breath brings the mind to the body. Usually the mind is always haywire, running here and there in the forest. It's rarely in the body. And that's why we don't realize many things may be happening in the body. Diseases may be developing because the mind is not home, so we don't know. So it's beautiful. So if we can, from time to time, during the day also, do a state check, like checking within. Yeah. Yeah, anything, anyone? We have like 10 minutes to share anything if we want to share.
It's really difficult to practice. It is said that the meditation, the early morning or whatever time is decided, uh, morning and evening, actually, it is seen that in majority of the cases, these are the two timings when the sun rises before that, and when the sun sets after that. So these are the two very productive time for doing this because nature also helps. Uh, and it is said that there are certain waves during this time which flow throughout the world. So this become very easy to practice. Otherwise, at other times it may not be that easy as it takes place. So in one of the video I was seeing that they say meditation is very easy because asan hai, because you have to just need not to do anything, you need not to think anything, and just the mind is still. So what is there to worry that meditation is, it's not difficult. But actually, if we practice, if we put into the practice, it becomes very difficult. Outside chatting, as it was said, that that can be stopped. I can plug my ears and sit at the correct pose and breathe regularly as a normal body is taking and breathing in and breathing out. All this can be done, and after that. It is said that the sound of silence, the sound of silence you have to hear. So that is the awareness. What we call here, awareness that has to come. And if we succeed in doing it for a few minutes, so we'll get a great relaxed mind after that. And this is the effect. So once we start getting the taste of it actually, and then slowly the duration can be increased. And the only the thing is that it is to be in the every day. It should be in the same time and same place. And so this also helps actually. This also helps.
Yeah. I think whatever helps anyone, everyone can have their own, places, or maybe for some people place may not matter, but I think it's beautiful to have same place. It really helps. Yes. And the one thing you shared, I think, um, first of all, it's not comfortable. In the beginning it feels like meditation is easy, but then we get to know that even to sit still for 5 minutes, it's so challenging. But then, as we said, baby steps. And the one thing that you shared also, the regularity of it. So even if we are sitting 5 minutes, and if we are able to continue those 5 minutes every day, I think those 5 minutes go much, much beyond and help in our practice rather than sitting once a week for 1 hour. So that those 5 minutes regularity throughout the week, that really, really takes us ahead. And the other thing that you shared was the taste of it. So once we get the taste of it, and once we see the kind of clarity and calmness it brings to us, and also a little bit of detachment that it brings in our daily life, I think then we are compelled from within to sit at it. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah, anything you want to add on, Taru?
Yeah, especially I think I would want to talk about the things that, come to me, or the issues that I face, so that if somebody else also faces those, there's something, like when I heard this first time said that be conscious. Okay, be conscious that you're sitting, be conscious that you're standing. It didn't make much sense, right? Of course, I'm conscious. I know I'm sitting, I know I'm standing. And yet, when you're doing something like right now, if I just tell myself, oh, I'm listening, if I tell myself that I'm standing, and just that 1 second,
Taru, your voice is breaking, so we couldn't
2 second,
get you.
5 seconds, it's strange that how I mean suddenly. Yeah, so I was just saying that
तो आप बता
should I
रहे थे from the
Hmm.
starting itself, if you can repeat, because it was not audible. Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that the issues that I faced, like I still face, is like, say, when she says, like, if we go to Tenzin Palmo's video, that be conscious, right? Be conscious that you are sitting, you are standing. It feels very weird, right? It feels that, of course, it's my body. I know when I'm sitting, I know when I'm standing, because the instructions are coming from my mind. And yet, those 2 seconds, 5 seconds in which I'm actually telling myself, hey, I'm sitting, I'm standing, or right now, say, I'm listening. Suddenly, I'm here, I'm in the present moment, and that moment feels so much deeper and more expansive. Like, since I've started paying attention to this, it feels that the days are bigger. It's like it's deeper. Like, I have more memories, I have more moments in which I was present. And till you start doing it, you cannot understand what she's saying. It feels stupid. How can I be so stupid to miss my own life? And yet we hear it so often, that especially from the elderly, that pata hi nahi chala. I don't know where my life went, right? It was just one event to the other. So I think this practice of just, I don't know, like I in another video, she said if we can just start with 3 times in 1 hour, that would be an amazing start. 3 times in 1 hour, if we can just realize what we are doing, take one pause and just say that, okay, what am I doing right now? Like, okay, I'm sitting. And then you see yourself sitting. I mean, that seeing is very different than my seeing of every day. So I would rate, and especially, just like meditation, you hear things, but when you do it, it's very different. So I would, highly kind of say that do it, and then you will know. And if you can't do it 3 times an hour, do it 3 times a day, to start with. Do it once a day to start with. It's really beautiful. And the second thing that I kind of got stuck on was like, what does it mean to be aware of the breath? Like, but it can mean, I think, different things to different people. Like, I know that, like, when I've heard different videos, some people say that, okay, just follow the breath, right? Like, take it like all the way where it's going in and out, you can do that. Some say that, okay, just focus on the tip of the nose, and just watch the breath coming in, coming out. Others just focus on the nose part, like how when it's going in and then they lose focus, not focus, but they just stay here. And there's another practice which I found very interesting, was they focus on that, on from which nostril. So they take 10 breaths from right nostrils and exhale from left, or vice versa, kind of low. So all I just want to say that it doesn't matter. Everybody would have their own, comfort factor, or what helps them come back to the breath again and again. It's very frustrating, especially, I feel that I have heard so much, just like Monica was sharing in the beginning. Oh, for me, 5 minutes, oh, nothing, like I am the epitome of, sitting in silence or whatever. And you are in for a very big shock, right? That it is a monkey mind. It's not that all the masters and mystics have called it the same for any other reason. So the important thing is not that, you see some lights or you see that, okay, the divinity is descending on you. The important thing is that you keep practicing. Like Monica said, just 5 minutes, even if we start, and we just the only job is to get the attention back on the breath work or keep on with the breathing. How many times you lose it, don't judge, don't say just, and don't say, oh my god, mere se nahi hoga, it's beyond me. But just continuing with some sincerity, right? Like say when I sit, I usually start with some aspiration, a small prayer, that whoever I believe in, that please help me, kind, so that, yeah, for whatever reason. So it's very important to know that the idea is not with some set images, some lights. The idea, especially right now, or maybe always, would just be to look at the breath, because when I look at the breath, I am present to what's happening at that moment. And it's everything takes practice. A small instrument, like I think this is an example I've heard often again, that a small instrument takes so much practice. And here we just say that I have been doing it from 10 days, or I've been doing it from 30 days or 50 days, and see, I cannot do it, I would not do it. But that's not what we want to do. If we actually want to do it, we'll have to say that, okay, no matter what, like 5 minutes actually is nothing. It's funny that even 5 minutes can actually also help us. And it's quite sad if we are not able to even give the 5 minutes that would help us in calming our mind to such practices. And Monica, when you were sharing, when you said that something happened and you were able to focus on the breath, I just want to say that the usual response when I am not all right is I take shortcuts, right? Like I have lived my whole life that, okay, oh, you're sad. Okay, let's go to the mall. Let's hit the bar. Let's see a movie. Let's just see Netflix. I am everywhere except that feeling of sadness. And I have been told that this is how you do it, right? Happiness comes, you hold on to it, that, hey, I'm happy, I'm happy. Sadness comes, any negative, emotion comes, and I'm like that, oh my God, I don't want it, I don't want it. How to run away from it. I'm never present to it. So just as an experiment, if I want to just be more present, it's repulsive in the beginning that how can I be present to sadness? It will just be more sad. But there's one thing that somebody wants to come and meet you, and you keep avoiding. You, as soon as you see it, you run. As soon as you see him, you run. And he keeps coming back, right? So this is like you pull out a chair, you are sitting on a chair and you say hi. What do you have to say? It might sound weird, but it really works, and then it's through you. It's not an escapism. You're actually seeing things, meeting things, your emotions, your feelings, life events, even suppressed issues. You start seeing them, and they are not a big deal anymore. Okay, oh, I'm again sad today. Oh, I was sad 3 days back too, and then I was okay. This, how we make things so big. Somehow the stakes come down, that it's all right. And again, it's different to just talk about it, and it's different to actually do it and experience it. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I mean, there could be more, but now I'm forgetting. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Taru. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's stay with the breath throughout the day as much as we can, and bring the mind to the body again and again. It'll wander, it'll go away, but we will also do our job. So yeah, have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, Monica, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Just one more thing that was
Yeah.
coming to me, that, when she stopped, she said, isn't it good to be a master of the mind, right?
Mhm.
And suddenly when you heard it, you were like, oh my God, I wasn't a master, again on the same lines. But for me, I felt that at least let me first be a good slave, at least let me see where all I go.
Yeah.
I'm nothing. I'm not a master. I'm not a slave.
Yeah.
So for me to sit for 5 minutes and say that, oh, I have to become a master,
Yeah.
that again, even if we analytically see it, logically, it doesn't make sense. So at least let me
I think
see
what
what,
she, yeah, exactly. Let me see. So I think this is what she was pointing at, that we are usually not aware of where mind is. So to kind of have a supervision over the mind right now, so to supervise what is going on in the being, thoughts, feelings, sensations. Yes.
yeah, because the perception can be that, oh, the master means that now I control my
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah.
I control my breath. And it's not that, right? Like it's just to know what's happening. It's happening in your supervision, it's happening in your awareness.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that.
I think
Yeah,
the
sorry.
thing that you shared, that even with every instrument, the if effortlessness with the instrument or the mastery over the instrument comes with time. So just like that, I think she maybe gave us an inspiration that slowly, if we supervise the mind, if we are aware, as if mind is a little child, and we are aware of what the actions it's performing throughout the day, then slowly we have a little bit of, a mother also says, self mastery over the mind. So yeah, it's a kind of giving us hope for the future, I believe. Yes. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.